According to a brand new poll from NBC News, President Biden is in deep trouble for next year. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video, and today it is time that we talk about the 2024 presidential election, because everyone, NBC News just released a brand new poll for Biden's approval for the 2024 election, everything. And to say it is a disaster for Biden is an understatement. Everything is negative for Biden in this poll. But there's one part in particular, the head-to-head with Trump, that piqued my interest on this poll because, let's face it, if this is legitimately happening, like this is a legitimate poll that indicates next year, Biden's in deep trouble. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $1 a month, you can join Real American. This is the best way to support the daily content that we all know and love. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. Alright, everybody. Now, like I said, we're only in November, alright? Again, I don't know if this is 100% going to predict next year's elections, but if it does, if it is an indicator for next year, Biden is in deep shit. Like, this is bad. For NBC News to release this, and I know that the Simps are already saying, oh, it's all fake, everything is fake news, you know, the polling is 4D chess for Biden to give him a lead and then secretly lose. It's like, what? I know that doesn't make any sense, but some of these people think every pollster is colluding in a secret room, including DeSantis' own pollsters, and showing that Donald Trump is secretly ahead to give Biden an edge in next year's election. What? That is the point we're at with the Simps. But let's just get into it, because I want to see what the poll actually says. President Joe Biden's approval rating has declined to the lowest level of his presidency, 40%, as strong majorities of all voters disapprove of his handling of foreign policy and the Israel-Hamas war, according to the latest national NBC News poll. And already, this is bad. 40% approval. And just like I've said for the entire Biden presidency, this approval, 40%, it's not vehemently pro-Biden. It just, I support Biden. Meh. That's not like Trump where, yeah, he had a low approval, but basically the entire 45% that approved of him, it was all strongly approved. They were like, hell yeah, Trump's doing an amazing job. With Biden, he doesn't have that. And usually, with a president that wins re-election, they don't tend to have their approval numbers collapse like it is right now for Biden right before next year. Now, again, there's some circumstances like Bush in 2001 through 3. Like, that's a little bit different because he has skyrocketed approval rating. That's one thing. But for Biden to already be below like 45%, but to go even further down to a new low according to NBC News, that's not good. What's more, the poll finds Biden behind former President Donald Trump for the first time in a hypothetical general election rematch, although the deficit is well within the poll's margin of error for a contest that is still more than 11 months away. Yeah, for the first time, according to NBC News, Trump's ahead of Biden. I understand it is early, but this is called a trend. Not once did they ever have Trump up on Biden. Now they have him up by 2. The erosion for Biden is most pronounced among Democrats. a majority of whom believe Israel has gone too far in its military action in Gaza. And among voters aged 18 to 34, with a whopping 70% of them disapproving of Biden's handling of the war. Yeah. That's his biggest problem. The war between Israel and in Gaza. This is going to kill Biden if this continues. Because Biden is screwed, no matter how he responds. Because this is always the problem with the Democrat base. And how many young voters, and many voters, in fact, they're against, endless support for Israel. They just are. Some of them are still pro-Israel, don't get me wrong. Some of them, however, are clearly pro-Hamas. And they're mostly in the Democrat Party. So Biden, he is screwed. He either has to select backing Israel, which, even though some people are not in support of endless aid for them, still back Israel, but piss off his own base, or appease Hamas and whatever, but piss off the majority of Americans. That's the problem with Biden right now. And he's trying to play this middle road of, we gotta be pro-Israel, but also we have to not be harsh on Hamas. It's like, dude, what are you freaking doing? That's a problem with trying to play both sides. It pisses everybody off equally. And clearly, it's not helping Biden. Because people are like, what the hell is this guy doing? Like, either be pro-Israel or be for something else. Just not this middle-of-the-road crap pretending to be on both sides. I do not support his support of Israel, said Meg Fury, 40, a Democrat from Austin. Failed promises, student loans, foreign policy in general, said Democrat Zeke Shell, of 23, of San Diego, when asked why he disapproves of Biden's job approval. Joe Biden is at a uniquely low point in his presidency, and a significant part of this, especially within the Biden coalition, is due to how Americans are viewing his foreign policy actions, said Democrat pollster Jeff Horwood of Hart Research Associates. And that's the problem. This is the big problem for Biden. His foreign policy is killing him within his own party. These voters are probably not going to vote for Trump, but that doesn't mean that they're going to probably vote for Biden. They could vote for Jill Stein, vote for possibly Cornel West, maybe even RFK. Which, for Trump, that's a win. And also, funny enough, the people calling this poll fake, Public Opinion Strategies, they conducted the survey with, oh my gosh, whatever. This poll's a stunner, and it's stunning because of the impact the Israel-Hamas war is having on Biden, he said, which is true. But Horwood cautioned that Biden can bring these dissatisfied Democrats and younger voters back into the fold. These are people who have a proven track record of voting for Biden and Democrats, he said. But the problem with that theory, all right, and we've been saying this for a while, he screwed himself with how he's handled this so far. Because now, if he suddenly starts to be more pro-Hamas and, anti-Israel, yeah, most Americans, they may be against endless aid to Israel, but they still back Israel to a lesser extent. That would piss off a lot of people saying, wait a minute, you're bending the knee to 5% of your base or 20% or whatever? What are you freaking doing, dude? And he added, there's plenty of time and more potential political surprise to come between now and Election Day 2024, which could see the political landscape transform again. True. But right now, this is a mess. This is an absolute disaster for President Biden. 57% disapproval, 40% approve. The lowest in Biden's presidency. I mean, there's no silver linings to this. This is just bad. And you look at the foreign policy, it just gets worse. Only 34% approve of Biden's job handling of foreign policy, or the Israel-Hamas war, with 31% approving. That is the problem with trying to play both sides. He screwed himself. He tried to appease the Israel shills on the right and the Hamas shills on the left, and it pissed everybody off. Because most people are, they're pro-Israel, but they're against endless aid. A lot of them are. Including myself. I am for Israel. But that doesn't mean I support endless aid to Israel. I just don't. And most people, I think, fall in that category. But you try to play both sides of, like, we're going to send $100 billion to Israel, but also we're going to call for a ceasefire? Wait a minute. Why are you wanting a ceasefire but you want to send $100 billion to Israel, or whatever it is? That is the problem with what Biden's trying to do. He doesn't make any sense when it comes to this. He's pissing everybody off, and it divided his own party. The poll finds a plurality of Americans. 47% believing that Israel's defending its interests in the war, and that its military actions in Gaza are justified. By comparison, 30% think that Israel's military actions have gone too far and are not justified. But among Democrats, 51% believe Israel's gone too far, versus 27% who says Israel's military actions are justified. But this Hamas war, I really do think, is going to hurt Biden in the long term. I don't see how he recuperates a lot of these voters. I just don't. Unless he does something absolutely wacky that nobody expects, he's just going to keep pissing everybody off. And this is the part of the poll that has everybody losing their frickin' minds. Biden versus Trump. Look at this. I understand that it's early on. Absolutely. I understand that we're only in November. This trend should still scare the shit out of Democrats. July 2023, Biden's at 49%, Trump at 45%. September, 46-46. November, Trump 46, Biden 44. And guess what? Trump's surge has come from young and minority voters. I understand that these are much larger margin of errors. But look at this. Trump holds a slight advantage within the margin of error in the survey among voters ages 18 to 34. Yeah. That doesn't mean... I don't think he's going to win young voters, because if he does, that's an electoral landslide. But I do think there is a clear shift among young voters. I really do. We saw this in 2020. There was a shift towards Trump. Even back in 2016, there was a sign that young voters were shifting to the right. And I do think this has to be... There's two things impacting this. One, most of these people realize Trump was right. He is... You can hate the guy, but damn it, he was a good president. But number two, I do think some of this is progressive Dems being pissed at Biden for backing Israel. Or pretending to back Israel, but calling for a ceasefire. It's a mess. But either way, this is bad news for Biden. Even if he only wins the group by 5, right? Let's say he does. That is a disaster. That's like a 20-point shift, I believe. Or 10. And that's the problem with Biden's numbers. His coalition is falling apart at the seams. He's trying to appease everybody, but pissing everybody off at the same time. That's why you don't play this middle road crap of, I want a $50 billion of aid to Israel, but I also want a ceasefire immediately. What? What's that logic? But anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you so much. Godspeed to all of you.